economic growth, and it's the lack of cheap energy that may cause us to turn the corner. Okay, now I want to pay homage here to the authors of this book, The Limits to Growth. It was published in 1972. I was 21 years old at the time. I read this book and it changed my life. I realized for the first time that the world was on an unsustainable path. It was, of course, a report of a group of scientists at Massachusetts Institute for Technology that who used computers to model the likely interactions between population growth, resource depletion, and pollution. Their standard run scenario showed a peak and decline in world industrial output sometime in the first half of the 21st century. Now, this report was immediately vilified by many economists who believed that economic growth was necessary and that there were no limits to it. Interestingly enough, the CSIRO did a retrospective analysis of the Limits to Growth report in 2008, and this is what they concluded, that effectively we're right on track. So, good job. I want to unpack this limits to growth scenario a little bit in up-to-date contemporary terms, using these three factors: energy, debt, and climate. Now, you notice debt is something that wasn't addressed in the 1972 report. They didn't look at the financial system and its contribution to global economic activity. But as we've learned over the past 4 years, this is something we can't ignore. So let's start with energy. And I said at the outset that energy is key. Well, why is that? It's because without energy, nothing happens. Many conventional economists will say that energy is 10% of the economy because we spend 10% of GDP on energy. But really, that doesn't capture it, because if the energy switches off, if the lights go off, if the petrol pumps run dry, then the economy doesn't decline by 10%. The economy goes away. We have depended upon energy since we've been human and before. Energy enables us to do everything that we do. And up until the Industrial Revolution, we were using renewable energy sources in various forms. But there were limits to what we could do. With the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, we had developed certain basic technologies. We developed metallurgy and gears and a simple heat engine, and the ability to extract first coal and then oil and natural gas. And as we did so, all hell broke loose. Think of it this way. Maybe you've had the experience of running out of petrol in your car and having to push your car off to the side of the road. That's a bit of hard work, right? Even if you're just pushing your car only a couple of meters. But imagine pushing your car for kilometer after kilometer after kilometer. That would really be a lot of work, right? Well, how much? It turns out that a single liter of petrol contains about as much energy as you would expend working hard for maybe 3 or 4 weeks. Let's say a month, just to use a round number.